The U.S. Open is here, but Serena, Venus, Roger, and Rafa are not. Tick Tock Tennis with a recap of everything you need to know to get ready for the U.S. Open. The draw is made, the qualifiers are placed, and the schedule is set for round one at the U.S. Open. But first, some headlines. In a repeat of what we saw at the Olympics, some of the biggest names in the game won't be in the draw in New York. We already knew that Federer, Nadal, and team wouldn't be playing this year, but this week we got the news that Milos Raonic, Sofia Kenin, Venus Williams, and Serena Williams are all out of this year's event. And that leaves a pretty wide path for Novak Djokovic to make a run to that calendar Grand Slam. So, let's talk about this year's draw. We'll keep our focus on the first round because there's plenty to talk about. Speaking of Novak, he opens up against the much ballyhooed teenage qualifier Holger Rune, while top seed on the women's side, Ash Barty, begins against veteran Vera Zvonareva. And last year's champion, Naomi Osaka, gets a potentially tricky first-round matchup against Maria Bošková. Honestly, most of the top seeds look good to make it out of the opening round, but there are a few upset opportunities to look out for. Jen Brady, who had her breakthrough here in New York last year, isn't playing her best tennis at the moment, so it's not great that she drew a very in-form Emma Raducanu in round one. Brandon Nakashima will get a shot at a second win over John Isner. Simona Halep is back from injury, but looks pretty ripe for an upset against Montreal champ Camila Giorgi. Elise Cornet is, as we record this, playing the final at the Chicago 250 event, so she could be a big problem for Ons Jabeur. And look out for Teresa Martinkova, who could be big trouble for last year's runner-up, Victoria Azarenka. Finally, there are a few first-round matchups that just don't seem fair. Like Sloane Stephens and Madison Keys, both unseeded this year and playing a repeat of the 2017 U.S. Open final in the first round. Then there's two of our favorites, qualifier Chris Eubanks and Frances Tiafoe, who drew each other in the very first round. And maybe the most disheartening of all, our beloved Sir Andy Murray drawing none other than the number 3 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas in round one. They play Monday on Arthur Ashe Stadium. For more tennis news, interviews, and opinion, follow and subscribe to Tick Tock Tennis.